Okay, guys.
So look at the top of your notes. So today we're gonna learn how to write the equation of a circle. And the two main parts that you need to be able to create a circle is the center. So where do you need to graph the center at? And then how big is the radius? Okay, so keep that in mind when we're talking about this equation. So your equation at the top says standard form, and it says x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. Well, r is the radius, we know that. But this h and this k right here, these represent the center. So anytime you see h, comma k, that is the center of the circle, okay? Well, this entire equation right here all stems from the Pythagorean theorem, okay? And if you look here, the center and the point create a radius, and then if you create your right triangle, we can use the Pythagorean theorem to solve for r at any given point, okay? So let's kind of backtrack. If the center point is h, comma k, then we got to figure out how to find that part of the circle. Well, if we start by looking at this point right here, we can do that. So this point has the same x value as that point, so it's x. And then it has the same y value as this point right here, so it's k. Okay, so x value is x, y value is the same as k. So let's figure out how to find this distance right here. So if you're looking at that distance, well, it's your x value minus your h value. Because think about it, if it's too long, 2 minus 0 gives you 2. So this side is h, x minus h. Well, then if we're looking at this value, you want to take your y and subtract your k. So y minus k, because if you're trying to find the distance between 2 points, you don't want to add their values together. That's going to get a longer number. You want to find the difference between them. So now we have the two sides. If I take all of this away, we now have the two sides of our right triangle, and we can use that to solve for r. So we know Pythagorean theorem, the leg squared plus the leg squared is equal to the hypotenuse squared. So we have x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is all equal to r squared. Now, if you don't fully understand where it all came from, it's not that big of a deal. You might be questioning on it, but the main thing is knowing that it stems from the Pythagorean theorem is going to help you remember that you need to square these values, and it's going to help you remember that you need to add the two values together, okay? Hopefully finding the side lengths is going to help you remember, because you have to find the lengths and the distance between 2 points. Hopefully that will help you remember the subtraction. So the whole reason why I want you to understand it comes from the Pythagorean theorem is just to help you remember the equation. Okay, but now we're just going to focus on the equation. So let's go down and let's look at number 1. Okay, so we're trying to graph these circles. All right, so it gives you this equation. X plus 4 squared plus y minus 2 squared is all equal to 25. Well, if you go back up to the top, the standard form is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is all equal to r squared. So the easiest part is starting here with the r. So 25 is equal to r times r. So what number is equal, r times r is equal to 25? You know that r has to be 5. The way that you can solve for r, 25 is equal to r squared. Take the square root, you know r is equal to 5. So your radius is 5. Okay, so then the next part that we have to solve for is the center. And the center is h, comma k. So we have to look at these values. So our h is here and our k is here, but you have to be really careful. The formula says that it's subtraction. So because that subtraction, you know that this is actually our y value. So our y value is 2. But the difference here is that that's a plus. Okay, so it's x plus 4. It's different from the equation. So what you have to do is you kind of have to work backwards. Where did the plus come from? Well, it came from x minus a negative 4. So you have to get your equation to be in the same format with that minus. So now we have minus a negative 4, which means that our x value is negative 4. So when we go to draw this, our radius is 5 and our center is negative 2. Negative 4, 2. So now let's go graph it. All right, so, and the graphing should be fairly easy. So you start with the center, negative 4, 1, 2, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, positive 2, 1, 2. So your center should be there. And then your radius is 5. So you just count out 5, right, left, up, and down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then try to draw the best circle that you can. Okay, and then don't forget to actually fill in the 2 pieces down there. Your center is at negative 4, 2, and your radius is 5. Okay, if you didn't understand that one, stop the video, rewind it, go back, watch it again. Okay, if you did understand it, let's go ahead and look at number 2. All right, so first things first, we need to compare what you have to standard form, or what you're given to the standard form. Once again, I think the radius is the easiest part to start with. So you know 4 is equal to r squared. So if you take the square root, you know that your radius is 2. Okay, be careful there. A lot of people think the radius is 4. They forget to do that step. Okay, so now the weird thing here is that y doesn't have anything with it. So we kind of have to rewrite that so we can figure out what went there. So y minus what number will give you just y squared? Well, it's 0. So your x value is minus 7, so we're good there. So your h part is negative 7, or my bad, is 7. And then your k has to be 0. So your center is h comma k. So it's positive 7 because the formula says that has to be negative. So you're just trying to find the number behind it. So 7 comma 0. Okay, now we go graph it. So your radius is 2. Your center is 7, 0. So go over to 7 on the x-axis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then your radius is 2. Up 2, left 2, down 2, right 2. And that should be your circle. Okay, so those are the only 2 we're going to do on the very front. You just have to make sure that you're careful with the standard form. Okay, so if it's minus, that means that that is your value. If it's plus, we need to fix it. So for instance, right there, so when it says x plus 4, we have to go backwards and change it to minus. Minus and negative will give you this positive right there. They go back and forth. So what we want is the number behind the subtraction. That's going to help you get your center. Okay, so now let's move on and let's look at number 8. So you're going to do all of them. So go ahead. If you want to pause the video, you can pause the video and do the other. You can do 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. But we are going to do 8 together. Or you can do all the ones we're doing together and then go back and do those, whatever you want to do. Okay, so now we're just taking out the pieces. All right, so here we need our center. So we're looking at these 2 values. All right, one of them is nice. The other one we have to fix a little bit. So we want to keep the 6. So we know that the x value of our center is 6. The problem here is we need that to be a negative. To y minus negative 11. And then that is our y value. And watch this next video for how to find the radius.